The next up close I have is the Brazilian Starfish, which unfortunately is a little bit more difficult to show, at least this specific plant here, than some of the other ones I've shown, just because this is taken on a life of its own once I planted it into the garden here, just because I needed the extra space. So unlike a lot of the other peppers that I'm growing that are in bags and pots, this one here just got thrown in the garden, and it's just grown and grown and grown, and so I've had to tie it down several times. And now with the tomatoes starting to lapse, I've borrowed some of the tomato cage to help support the Brazilian Starfish. And you can see it's got a huge trunk down here, which has the diameter of something between a quarter and a silver dollar, and then it's got a secondary and even third stalk that I just didn't trim off early on in its life, and then so those have just taken off, and I think at least one of those, the greener one on the left side there, has grown out even taller and longer than the main wooded trunk there that you see in the middle. But this thing is all over the place, and probably close to 100 peppers in green or red form at this point on it right now, and I've picked probably a couple hundred peppers from it already. I have two other Brazilian Starfish plants as well. One that has grown a few feet tall out of just a couple gallon bucket, and then another one that I've grown about a foot or two tall as well, that is growing from a hanging basket upside down, which is was kind of a neat experiment. So successfully growing peppers out of that one. But this one here is by far the biggest that I have. And this plant here, again, the Brazilian Starfish, originally from Peru, and on the Scoville scale it's about 10,000 to 30,000, which for comparison is about 2 to 6 times a jalapeno, which is about 5,000 on the Scoville scale. And as you can see here, starts off green like most other peppers, and then they mature as they shade from green to orange to a nice bright shiny red. And you can see there's plenty here that need to be picked, so right after this video I'm going to be picking all these to make room for the next ones. And these fruit, again, they are red when they mature. Biggest sizes, at least on this one, is about 1 to 2 inches wide. You can see the one on the right side there is probably that 1 to 2 inches wide, all the way down to maybe a half inch at the most on the left side there, but fully mature and red nonetheless. And then maybe a inch at the most in depth. So these are very short, squat peppers. Taste wise, they're kind of fun to snack on. They're fruity and sweet, and have a little bit of a burn to them after that. But again, a little more than a jalapeno, but not too bad, just for munching on. Nothing that's going to make your mouth numb or anything like that. And these plants here can grow up to 7 feet tall. This one, if I was able to keep it upright, probably would be about 4 feet tall and maybe just as wide. But again, it's kind of grown all over the place, and it's fallen down pretty much on every side due to its own weight, especially when it's laden down with all the peppers. So anyway, time to pick this one. Just a quick pan here. You can see just every single branch is just loaded with peppers. So I've been wanting to trim this back a little bit, but there's really not any obvious places to do that, unfortunately, without losing some of the peppers that are already growing now. So I'm just gonna continue to let this go, and it seems to not mind at all. So there it is up close on the Brazilian Starfish.